at least twice yearly.
Lefty, you're on.
Hey, Ken, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you, Lefty?
Hanging in there.
All right, good. Yeah, you were in the hospital or something?
Yeah, I had a kidney stone.
Yeah. Oh, sounds terrible. Are you okay?
That was well, it's between my sciatic pain and my back pain, so it's kind of hidden right between there.
Yeah.
So I still have pain. I don't know if I passed the stone. Uh, I'll find out tomorrow. I see a bunch of doctors tomorrow, so
Uh-huh.
we'll see. I got more information from my nurses friends so far, though.
Yeah, 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 that happens.
A lot of lemon juice, cranberry juice,
Mhm.
citrus. Um, cut out the salt and sugar. Few tips I got here and there.
Things you should have been doing for decades.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, it's better late than never.
that's right. But no, that was the worst pain I ever felt because I have 10 out of 10 pain occasionally because of my sciatic pain, but
Mhm.
it doesn't stay 10 out of 10. It just spikes at 10 out of 10.
Right,
This
right.
here was 10 out of 10. It wouldn't go away. So
Wow.
I said to Denise, I said, you got to take me to the hospital.
Uh-huh.
That's something you never hear that from me.
Mhm.
But no, we got to go to the hospital. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. And man, but I'm much better now. Thanks.
Oh, good, good.
Feeling so much better. Yeah.
Well, then the odds are you passed it. I mean, right?
Probably.
Well, they must have been, but you didn't do it in a hospital. They were screening you. Obviously, they would be screening your urine, and they would pick it up if you passed it in the hospital. But or sometimes just the drugs they give you make the pain go away or numbs it anyway. But the problem remains.
They gave me Flomax to open everything up,
Uh-huh.
and that might have worked.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes that does.
I didn't feel anything coming out. Like I was expecting something through,
Right,
through my genitals, and I didn't feel anything.
right, right.
It was all on my back and my side, and it's
Mhm.
awful pain. Oof. I didn't expect that kind of pain from a kidney stone. I thought your kidney stone was in your genitals,
Yeah,
but or
no,
could be.
no. I've heard it said it's the worst pain a lot of people have ever experienced in their life. So,
Yeah, a few
uh,
people have said that to me. They said they'd rather give birth than have a kidney
wow.
stone.
Hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay. I apparently, when I put that post up there, I gave a lot of people who had kidney stones relive their trauma.
Huh.
That's what they said to me. They said, I'm reliving my trauma right now because of
Yeah.
this.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, oh, now I understand. I get it. But see, I deal with chronic pain. So I deal with pain all the time.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, this was bad. Even for me, I was like, wow. I thought I was tough.
Hmm.
I ain't that tough. This is a humbling pain, Ken. It was humbling.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, the worst pain I ever had was from a bulging disc, and the only way I could get relief was lying flat on the floor with my feet on a chair, and that position seemed to help. But of course, you can't go through life like that. So,
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. Like you have horrible pain, but you can make it go away by manipulating your body or moving. You can kind of make it go away. Like that's what I do.
mhm.
And I couldn't make this pain go away. I'm laying there in my bed. I'm like, this pain is not going away. I'm adjusting my back. I'm doing what you just said. I put my feet up.
Yeah.
I got yoga positions. I'm like, this is not good. This is not going away. I
Hmm.
thought my appendix ruptured actually.
Hmm.
I didn't know what it was.
Sure.
But yeah, I do a lot of yoga positions and stuff to fix my back. How is your back doing?
Well, it's funny you should say. I've been doing really well. I've been playing tennis for quite a while, and then this past Tuesday, I went to a yoga class at Robert Wood Johnson Hamilton Hospital, and they said it was beginners were welcome, but it was a little more advanced than that, and it was a full class of people, and I just kind of put my stuff down and put my glasses in my shoes and did some some really demanding poses. And then when I got up to go, I put my sneakers back on and started walking, and I didn't take my glasses out of my sneakers. And
Oh,
just somehow the combination of doing the yoga class and walking on my glasses caused this tremendous pain in my left hip. So I couldn't play tennis. Oh, so then all right. So then before I even got out of the hospital, I mean, I said, there's something wrong with my shoe. I took my shoe apart and I said, oh my God, my glasses are in my sneaker. So I took put my glasses on and put my shoes back on. And I said, well, I'm going to go to ShopRite. Maybe the gentle walking around in ShopRite will help the pain. So I went to ShopRite. I walked all around. I talked to a bunch of people, and I came home. It didn't really help the pain. Came home and I said, there's still something in my glasses. So I mean, in my shoe, and I took my shoe off again, and the left lens was still in my shoe, and I didn't
oh,
realize that. So here, and I got photo gray lenses. So here I am talking to all these people in ShopRite with one photo gray lens and one bare lens in my left.
oh,
So I must have looked like a real jerk.
you didn't realize it?
No, well, no. You see, my right eye is my dominant eye, and I have a bad left eye, but I mean, it's not really bad. It's just it's weaker. It's considerably weaker, and because my right eye is my dominant eye, I didn't notice that I didn't have the lens in my left eye. So
I'm the same way, actually. That would probably happen to me too, because I'm the same exact way. My left eye is dominant, my right eye is very weak compared to.
yeah,
And if yeah, that would probably happen because I can't really tell if this glass came out, I probably wouldn't know. You're right. That's pretty
uh-huh.
funny.
So anyway, so I couldn't play tennis on Sunday night, and that was a big trauma for me. But I think I'm back now. Just yesterday, I felt like I was ready to go back to my normal routine of playing tennis, and I'm scheduled to play on Thursday, so I think I'm ready for it. So anyway.
That's
But I did
pretty
have my left hip replaced 2 years ago, so I keep worrying that somehow that hip is going to go out of joint somehow, but it hasn't. But the real problem is that my left leg, when they put that hip replacement in, my left leg is longer now than my right leg, so I have to like wear inserts and heavy socks on my right side to keep reasonably equal. Anyway,
oh wow.
that's how I'm doing.
My father-in-law had that operation and he was able to play tennis after that.
And he was.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
It helped
yeah.
his game.
Yeah, I started right back like really quickly. Uh, they I was surprised. I got out of the hospital the same day as surgery, and so anyway, and I did a pretty good uneventful rehabilitation so far. Anyway,
Yeah. Do you see Rowan? She's going through some stuff in that facility she's in.
oh
I don't.
yeah, I know. I keep meaning to ask her if she really wants me to publicize what she's going through. I mean, here this woman, I mean, she she uses marijuana for her intraocular pressure, for her pain, for her anxiety, and then they take her off her medical marijuana when she goes into a facility, and they give her all these other drugs that, I mean, she's stable when she goes in, and then she's a mess when she's there because she doesn't have access, I believe, to her medical marijuana.
She can't use it there, right? She could probably use edibles though.
Well, you could sneak it in, but I mean, a person like her really needs a consistent and reliable supply on a regular basis, and like every couple of hours, she needs a nursing staff to be giving it to her. That's what she needs. Yeah, you could slip her in some edibles, but and I've done that for other people, but that's not really solving the problem.
No, Jake's Law was supposed to cover caregivers, and
Right,
we still don't have
right.
caregivers.
Nope, nope. Institutional caregivers. Nope. Yeah, that's I mean, it's really tragic, and she's a very good example of the kind of pain and suffering that people go through in nursing home. I guess it's a rehab facility. I think she said it's a rehab facility she's in now.
Yeah.
But Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted to use her as an example in an op-ed or something, just to bring uh, the issue to people about how this has very real consequences for people not getting the medicine that they need when they're stabilized on it when they go into a healthcare facility.
I know Joe Marie, she can't help herself. She has to have somebody give her the medicine. And when you leave her medicine, people steal it, or the nurses just take it because you're not supposed to have it there
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
right. So
It's
who's that?
sad.
Jill Marie? Do I know her?
She's friends with Brian. Brian Cummings used to visit her in the nursing home. She has progressive MS. She's in the facility down in South Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been visiting her over the years. We
Uh-huh.
tried to get her a cannabis card, but we had a lot of issues with that.
Well, progressive MS seems like you shouldn't. Hi, Ed. How you doing? Ed Tobias is here.
Hello, how are you? Let me mute.
What's
Hey,
that?
Ed.
Oh, there we are. Hello, how are you?
Good, good. Looking good, Ed.
Yeah, everybody's good.
We're just talking about some of the people in hospitals and nursing homes and everything who got stabilized on marijuana and then they have to stop using it. So
Yeah, exactly, right? It's time will tell.
yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to have caregivers, but we still don't have the caregivers. And is that a money issue? They just can't figure out how to pay people, or it's just
No,
regulations?
that's not it. I'm sure it's just the hospitals to say no. The lawyers in the hospital. No offense, Ed, the lawyers, but the lawyers in the hospital say, we're going to lose our funding. The federal government's going to take away our money if we allow medical marijuana in the hospital. So
Oh,
that's
Yeah. Yeah, trust me, I know how hospitals work. About 6 years ago, my wife and I, we were hospital clowns down at Cooper, and then the pandemic came. But now we're up here in Robert Wood Johnson. They won't let us in either. So it's all in there.
hospital. What, Ed?
We were clowns. We were hospital clowns. We dressed up as clowns and went to pediatrics and to the wards and just kind of brightened up everybody's day. I was Dr. Poppy Wobble Bobble.
Well, how nice. So why wouldn't they let you in? I mean, it sounds like a nice thing you were doing.
Well, we had started we did it in Cooper and Robert Wood Johnson. They just don't want volunteers, and then the COVID hit, and they just never brought it up again. It's like, you're right, it's the liability. They don't want it.
No.
Yeah, it's like there's no rhyme or reason.
Hmm. Hmm.
What's the liability? I mean, it's like a Good Samaritan kind of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I know, during what happened was we were in Cooper, and it was a program that had started like about 10-15 years ago. So we were part of it. So of course the people that brought it on, it was one of those like legacy operations, and then they shut it down for COVID because of those liability issues. And I'm not sure if it started back up at Cooper, but we moved up to back to Central Jersey, and Robert Wood Johnson, they just didn't really have they didn't want to change. It's that they just didn't want to change. People coming in and I mean, there could be liability. I mean, we were a little over the top there a couple times, with privacy and infectious diseases and things like that. Sometimes we had to suit up, to visit some of the people, but it was nice. We had pretty standard bits that were pretty corny.
Interesting.
We'd give out brownies, which were literally brown ease.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
But they were not the infused brownies.
No, I know, they should have been.
Yeah.
But when somebody's hooked up to an IV and they can't get out of the hospital bed, it's they'll laugh at anything.
Oh yeah, yeah. So Guy is here. Hello, Guy. Thank you for coming.
Hey, Ken.
How are you?
Hey,
All right.
Let's see.
Busy.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. See Jim Miller's here. Hi, Jim.
what's up? What's up?
How are you doing?
By my standards, good, but I keep the bar set really low.
People are coming left and right. Good. Mike Brennan's here. Hello, Mike.
Oh, Brennan.
Who else? So Jesse Marie is here from Baked by the River. Hi,
Yeah.
Jesse.
Hey,
Good, thanks for coming. You got your
Hey,
cat too?
Jesse.
Oh, yeah.
And let's see. Abby Kalmbach is just coming on. Hi, Abby. Thanks for coming. Jared Mancinelli.
Hey,
Hi, Abby. How are you?
good. How are you guys doing?
Where are the
Hey.
kids?
They're quiet for a second. I think they're still eating their
Oh,
dessert. So they will pop up as soon as that's done.
all right. All righty. Always pleasant to see him. All right, I think we're about ready to get started. We're still admitting some people here. JB, if anybody wants to say hi, or Chris, if you'd like to say hello or say anything that's on your mind, or Jared.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything interesting to say right now. I look like 10 pounds of shit stuffed in a 5-pound bag, and that's why I'm not appearing on camera.
Okay.
We used to call that a blivet back in the Explorer Scouts.
All right. Yeah. Let's see. How do I get change this background?
I'm sorry, Mike, if you have to speak up. a
Oh,
little
I'm
bit.
sorry. I didn't realize my mute wasn't off.
Yeah.
Sitting there talking to myself, trying to change my background.
Oh, all right. All right. Well, let's get started.
All right.
Got a dozen people here. Well, we had just been talking about, just to finish the conversation, we had been talking about Rowan, who's in a rehab now, and she was been an active member of Coalition for Medical Marijuana New Jersey for almost about since we started, I think around 2003, 2005. And so anyway, she's in a rehab, and she can't take her medical marijuana now, and she needs it for a number of different conditions, and she's suffering needlessly because of the hospital's policy and basically the policy of all healthcare institutions in New Jersey. As far as I know, I don't know any that really welcome the access to medical marijuana when you're a patient there. If anybody knows any different, speak up. But anyway, so anyway, that's I was thinking it might be nice to try to publicize this, the issues that patients are having, and how they are suffering needlessly because they can't get access to the medicine that they need. They're stabilized their conditions, and then suddenly they're taken off of it, and then they have to try to restabilize them on different medicine. And that in many cases, many of the patients have already tried before. Or if they've come off of opiate addiction, then, what do they have for pain management? Well, opiates. So, here you got a recovering addict that suddenly is put back on opiates from
I
I don't know why you're. Yeah, go ahead.
Can we, would she be interested in co-authoring, or like if we could write something to submit to the CRC that she would endorse, so that we could, because I feel like they're moved a lot by patient testimonies.
Mhm.
And if she's in a program right now, she may not have the time to write something, but if we gave her something, or if we could tell her story, because I'm not going to be able to go to the meeting tomorrow, but I'm going to submit some written testimony, and I'm going to keep talking about batch sizes, but also the need for hospital access or institutional access.
Does the CRC allow, let me ask a quick question, because if someone could do a 3-minute phone video of her and play it at the CRC. Is that allowed? I don't even know. That would
It's-
be that would be impactful.
It's not currently allowed. There's
Oh.
another patient, Andrea Rabel, who's been trying to get that
Okay.
done because like she can't, I think she is going to be going to the meeting tomorrow. But the lights trigger seizures. But they've been trying to do some sort of hybrid testimony.
Yeah, they
for
should.
that reason, 'cause like they have, a huge screen set up. They could just have the public testimony that way.
Yeah, but what's the right? But what's the difference between the testimony if you film it on, if you record it on your phone and play it? Your 3 minutes is your 3 minutes, right? Is there any, I didn't read. I don't know the regs.
So
You know,
I think for this month, that idea can't be implemented necessarily because you need to have signed up by yesterday at 5
right.
to give public testimony. The written testimony, they do count, like they are impacted by the written testimony, and all the
Yes.
legislators too are impacted by that.
Right.
But for the next month, there's, I guess, no reason that someone couldn't go sit at the front and play a recording.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Someone could record her, even if you use it next month. I mean, someone should capture it now. She's there if she's willing to do it. Someone should just capture that information in this month or next month. I mean, you can't do it this month. You said the deadline's passed, but even next month, right? I mean, the idea is just capturing the testimony.
Yeah, I can reach out to Andrea because she's been working with a couple of people on getting medical patients on camera.
Right.
So I could see what she's been doing with that, but wasn't it in not last meeting, but the meeting before? If someone's talking about access to there's a TV station.
I can't recall. I'm
Local
sorry.
TV station.
Princeton,
Yeah.
yeah, we've had a membership there for a long time. Princeton,
I mean, it could be the local Princeton. That's fine, but anyone with an iPhone.
Well, they have,
Right.
the point was that they have recording equipment to make it a little bit better. But again, as we
Right.
all know, iPhones are pretty decent these days.
Exactly. So if someone was able to actually physically visit her, who she knows, and she could write something out and video her and then play it. That's all I'm saying. It's very simple. It's not very more complicated than that, I don't think. Or, obviously I'm not doing it, so it's easy for me to say. Just a suggestion, something to think about.
Yeah, I personally had thought that, perhaps an op-ed going out to New Jersey Cannabis Insider,
Yeah.
talking about it too. So that's another alternative.
There's big difference between the written word and a video, but that's all I'm saying.
I might be able to do that because I want to bring her something anyway. So I might be able to do that.
You're
Yeah.
gonna, who
written
said that?
testimony can still be submitted. It's
Of
too late
course.
for, the video one, but someone wants to write for her.
She could write for herself. I mean, and just video. Just someone just got to go there and video
Well,
her.
we're making all this plans for her. She's not here. Yeah.
Well, right. Someone, that's what I'm saying. It's easy. It said someone's got to do it,
Well, Lefty, if you're visiting her, could you ask how I don't know her at all, so I don't want to
Right.
volunteer for anything. But if she felt comfortable with writing testimony, we could help her with that, or if she wanted to give spoken testimony. But I think we need to ask her for, how she wants her story told.
Of course.
Yeah.
That goes without saying.
Yeah.
That's just,
I think
I
we're all
mean,
on the same page here.
yeah, I think so. I don't want my words to be leading here.
And I can always edit it to make it, concise and
Well, you got 3 minutes, right?
yeah. So edit it down to 3 minutes, whatever it is. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Well, that'd be great if you could do that, Lefty. I'm sure she'd be willing to do it. The question is, getting the most impactful 3 minutes out of what she has to say.
I would add to it, get ready for like 2 minutes and 40 seconds, because no matter how you do it, no matter how you read it at home or whatever you do, it's gonna take longer in person.
Right.
Right.
I mean, if you are early, and they're not cutting you off, you can have other things to add on to it until they do cut you off. But what you really want to say, don't make it a full 3 minutes and then have some other stuff to say. Because sometimes they just let you keep going. You know, why waste the opportunity? So, you know.
Okay. All right. Well, great. So Lefty will follow up on that and,
Thank you, Lefty.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the CRC should be able to have these meetings for disabled people. We did this for 19 months for healthy people during COVID, and all of a sudden we forget how to do it. I don't
Right.
get it. These are sick people that need this. I remember Jeff Oakes testified from his deathbed, literally from his deathbed in
Right,
Sussex
right.
County.
Right. And doctors are doing still doing telehealth. So what the hell? We're in AI and everything. Friggin' let people submit video testimony. What the hell? It's 2024.
Well, they're patient focused. The CRC says they're patient focused. Well, prove it.
Exactly. Yeah, prove it. So if you're a patient in a hospital on an IV, come down to the Trenton, right?
Okay. Great. Anything more on that? We celebrated the 3rd anniversary of legalization last month on February 22nd. A bunch of the reform organizations got together in Trenton, National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, Coalition for Medical Marijuana New Jersey, Students for Sensible Drug Policy,
Right.
Doctors for Drug Policy Reform, and Sativa Cross. I don't know, did I miss anybody? Was anybody else there from any other organizations? Anyway,
M for MM.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, we were there.
Uh,
Cheryl and I were there.
mhm.
And whoever
STP.
who was it that came marching up the road? I forget.
SSDP, Josh Schultz group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was part of the march up the road too.
Okay.
Right.
I
Well,
want to give them
it's actually Ryan M's group from Rowan.
Right,
He's-
SSDP, Students
Yeah.
for Sensible Drug Policy.
Right.
Right. It's not Josh's group.
No, Josh just jumped in the cheerlead.
Right.
But it's
Exactly.
SSDP that I said many times before that did that, organized that. It's a great idea
Yeah.
that they're doing.
Well,
Right.
you know, Josh organizing it like he did, I've seen a lot of, we smoke pot, we like it a lot, walks up that road. I never heard anything with such a deliberate, quick cadence to it. And the time between what do we want, boom, da 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 da, boom, da da da, boom. I mean, they had their act together. And
Yeah.
it was very good representation. It was really good, you know, better than we smoke pot and we like it a lot. Nothing wrong with that too. I smoke pot and I like it a lot, but it's
I
not what I
like
want
that classic. That's a
yeah,
classic.
well, I do, but you know, I guess for the marching on up the way they did, you could hear them coming, not what they're saying until it was like right there. But maybe a hybrid of what do we smoke? Pot. What do we think about it? We like it a lot. What do we smoke? Pot. What do you think about it? We like it a lot. You know, I mean, that would have been the same thing.
Yeah, the only problem I had was they were like 15 minutes late getting to the press conference, and you know, press doesn't have a lot of time
Yeah.
to wait around for while nothing's happening, and so I think some of the press left before the conference was
Well,
over.
I
Unfortunately,
We were
also
guided in
word,
the wrong direction. We like went around the block the wrong way and then went back around. It was a little ridiculous for the first 10 minutes.
Is that what
Um,
happened, Jesse?
We
Yeah,
literally got sent the wrong way down the street when we
Yeah.
were coming, and it was just
Oh
okay.
no!
Yeah, they went the wrong
Yeah.
direction, like the bad news bears.
Yeah, we smoke pot, we like it a lot. Someone
we
pay
don't,
attention
to
directly.
we don't get where we're
Is this a
going.
one-way street?
Yeah.
All right, well
It's been a one-way street.
that explains why you were late anyway.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
That's-
basically, when people smoke pot and like it a lot, if you wanted them there by 11, you might want to say 10:45. And then if they get there early, it'll work.
Yeah.
You know, they can walk down the road and come back or whatever.
Yeah, I thought that 9:45 leave time was quite ambitious for a 10 o'clock arrival.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to. Josh and Chris seemed to have it all worked out, and Chris
Yeah.
didn't seem too worried. So I was just like, okay.
Well, they
But
have
yeah, I
another,
heard that the
they'll have
cell
another
signal
chance.
also
Yeah.
went out so that people couldn't check their phones. So I think it was definitely a deep government conspiracy to keep us from getting to the
Yeah.
press in time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Russian bots.
Change
Um,
those street signs in the middle of the night.
But there was very good press coverage from it, so that was good to see, and it was followed by an assembly hearing right afterwards. Examine the New Jersey cannabis market progress, and
Yeah, that was a good hearing.
yes, yeah, it was excellent. We have I can give you a link to it, but anyway, Jeff Brown was there, and they talked about not only talked about how the program's doing and how marijuana sales topped $2 billion in New Jersey since 2018, but they also it was very encouraging what the lawmakers said about exploring home cultivation too at that hearing. So it seemed like that was certainly something that was on their plate, and they were listening.
To be clear, would that be home cultivation for patients, for adults, or both? In other words, they had something to say about home cultivation.
Yeah.
But in other words, to me, it always has to be separated into medical, for adult use, or both, because that's what the bills are. There's 3 bills again for that. So lumping it together makes it harder to get a definitive answer from people who don't want to give definitive answers.
And
Yeah.
Kent,
Does anybody remember the answer to that? I took some notes during the conference, but I'm just reviewing them. But I don't really remember.
What was the question?
I
Was
thought
it-
it was for
I was
patients.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there too.
Were they supporting home cultivation just for patients or home cultivation in general?
I believe the focus was on patients, and
Yeah.
the response was like a little bit like Jeff at first wasn't good. He's like, this is not under our purview, but we do get a lot of people coming to our meetings continuously asking for this, and like especially for patients, it seems to be something important to consider. Like he didn't give the full support, but he definitely, I think the fact that there have been so many people coming through the NJCRC meetings and bringing this up, even though it's not under their purview.
Yeah, he didn't mention it at all. In other words, that's Jeff's. The CRC has no opinion on home grow. It's a legislature issue. They keep kicking the ball back over, and that was pretty much what I got from there. What got me was how he jumped in about how the market was doing $1 billion coming up. Well, but yet the medical is just kind of pushed to the back burner. So we that's pretty much where we've been pushed off.
We're not even on the stove. We're not even on the stove anymore.
Didn't that one assembly guy on the left there? He asked that question about how to enhance the medical. Didn't he, Mike?
Yeah, he didn't get the answer though.
Yeah,
Not
right. You're
from
right.
Brown. Brown's not going to give it to him.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Because he's not concerned about the medical. He's just not concerned about it. He wants to get the up and running, mature market going, not the 10-year-old market that people have been struggling to pay for 10 years.
But at least it's on that committee's mind, because that one senator assembly guy, he asked that question. I remember.
Yeah, the chair was definitely interested.
Yeah.
The chair also.
We need to get a separate time to get his ear though.
Yeah, he put it as a quality of life issue for the patient.
Yeah.
Something that needed to happen yesterday. And so I do think that one assemblyman would be a great person. Like he seems supportive. So yeah.
Well, in addition to Freeman being supportive, Assemblyman Atkins, who is the chair of that committee, also was a co-sponsor of A386. And so I think the reason that he didn't speak up about home grow was because he's sponsoring the bill for home grow. and allowed Freeman then to push the questions for Homegrow.
Yeah.
So I think they're definitely friends on that committee. There's one guy on there who was a mayor who opted out of all bits of the cannabis market. I couldn't see his name because he was on the
Yeah, on the right side.
yeah. He's the one to be careful of because
Yeah.
those who say in the name of like children's safety are
Yeah.
generally speaking as a parent, are generally the most neurotic
You
and
gotta remember the
the ones
children.
that'll tank things.
Oh,
Yeah. So
And-
I
and-
think reaching out to him, Freeman is already good and will push forward. So keep talking to him. But the other guy, I would, if anybody knows his name, I
Yeah.
probably look
Well,
on the committee.
Freeman-
And Ken, you do realize one of our board members is very, very connected to the chairman through the Black Caucus or Black Legislator or something. Nichelle is very connected to him.
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, very connected.
I'd just like to point out too that Roy Freeman is the vice chair of the committee. So the chair and the vice chair of a 5-man committee, both are co-sponsors of a bill sitting in that committee, and the other 3 people combined have a total of 2.5 years experience as legislators.
Yeah, that's right.
They don't strike me as ones that are gonna break away from this and say, it's that's a sophomore and 2 rookies.
Right.
So yeah, this bill has a chance of being heard.
Yeah. And Ken, in reference to the bill, can you do me a favor, please? Because the bill numbers changed. I don't know if I have the most updated new bill numbers. Do you have all that?
I sent that to you in an email, Guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Those were the latest, right?
Those were the latest, yes.
that's
Okay,
it.
okay. All right, thank you.
I'd be talking about A846 for Linda Jackson, Reynolds and Reynolds Jackson, and S1393.
Are
Senator-
those the
Senator
latest
Sanders.
numbers, Jim?
Yeah.
Those are,
Yep, those are the
Okay.
one. 846 is sitting in the Oversight Reform and Federal Relations Committee.
okay,
Those are the 2 numbers.
okay.
That's okay. I just got out of the shower. I was like, anyway.
She's not on mute.
Microphone's on, whoever's talking about the shower.
I just shared a video in the group chat of the statement from the Assemblyman who supported, if anyone recognizes who that is. That was a video. He was super supportive of that statement.
Because Freeman,
Yeah, there we go. Okay, awesome.
the vice chair.
And she told me about it. So that would might have been on a Monday or Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, and I just searched the website for the Assembly Oversight Committee members. So anyway, there they are. Anyway, so that it was an encouraging hearing. Yes, Mike?
I'm just jumping off while we're on to the bills. I had something came up on an action thing from Normal. I had responded to it and sent a letter. Apparently there's a bill S2805 that's introduced to partisan bill on the expands implied consent law to include blood testing, establishes per se standard for driving under the influence of marijuana and certain controlled dangerous substances. This sets a limit of 3 nanograms per liter.
Huh.
Anybody who has a medical card will not be able to drive without being at risk for a DWI in the state of New Jersey.
Yeah, and a warrantless.
All
blood
medical
test.
patients
Yep.
might as well just turn over their driver's license with their guns.
Mike, can you
Yeah.
send that to me? I'd like to read that.
Yeah, New Jersey S2805.
Yeah, that's actually on our agenda, Mike.
Oh, okay.
So if you look down a little bit, it's the New Jersey bill to force drivers suspected of marijuana use to provide a blood sample. So,
I'm confused though. I thought the Olenowski case ruling kind of. I'm look. I
That
gotta
was for
reread.
DREs. Yeah, that was to give the retired police officers some extra pay for the
Right.
retirement with the DRE. This
well,
is to get patients to be prosecuted.
Right.
Okay. I thought it was supposed to. I thought it was for the scientific legitimacy of the DREs. That's what. That's what the Olenowski
Yeah,
case
that was
That was a
Olenowski.
different case.
Right.
Totally
Yeah.
different situation though.
right,
Now, if the DRE can't determine and they decide that they want blood work, this bill would say you have to give them blood work.
They don't have to get a warrant.
So assault and battery, right? That's what I'm saying. That bingo. That
Hmm.
anything over 3 nanograms, up,
Yeah,
you're
well,
under
thi-
the influence, buddy.
the-
You haven't
the-
smoked in a week, but you're under the influence now,
Right.
pal.
Yeah, we get it. No, we get it. This is where we need to fight back with the science because that it's total bullshit, and that's where we got to step in and make a statement.
Well,
yeah.
Then the prohibitionists are still at work, obviously.
I know the ACLU came out against that already.
I hope so.
Yeah.
We need some big weight to go with this. Senate Law and Public Safety Committee. So it's still pending. 25% progression.
Could you email that to me, Mike?
I'm getting it right from, oh, check it out. Sponsor Shirley Turner. Someone want to get out and call her? I thought she was like on our side.
Yeah, she introduced some very good bills for us, but
Oh, she
she's
got
on the wrong
sold
side
bill
with
on
this.
this one.
Yeah, she's on the wrong side with this one. And I just had a Jehan Marcoux, Dr. Marcoux, one of the best scientists, took part in a discussion about blood work and urinalysis tests being an indicator of impairment. And obviously their conclusion was that you could not determine impairment from either any kind of blood work or a urine test or hair test. It's just not
Right.
possible. And actually,
Yeah.
the DREs were a better source of
That's right.
proof
pseudoscience.
of impairment because
That's right. That's
of
exactly right.
than anything
That-
any samples from the human body.
That's exactly right. I can end this whole thing with one question. Literally one question. The question is, where does impairment take place? Can anyone answer that question?
According to this bill, at 3 nanograms, my
No,
friend.
no.
Once this passes,
Where in the body, you mean?
That's not what I asked. Where
yeah,
does it
you're asking a question without an answer.
No,
Thanks
no,
for the
there
rhetorical
no, Mike,
question.
no, there is an answer. No, there is an answer because I know the answer.
In the brain.
That's exactly right. So if they're measuring the wrong friggin' thing. I said this 10 years ago, and I worked with the neuroscience scientists to design a study to test for brain impairment. So that's what they're looking in the wrong place. End of story. Literally end of story. I'm telling you.
Well, it's the legislator. What do you expect? This is carried
They gotta
over
be
from
they
last
gotta be
year,
educated.
apparently. Well,
They have they have to be,
Senator Shirley Turner doesn't understand.
no, they don't. They
They
don't.
She's a supporter.
Here's a good
She's
question.
someone that we have her ear. Well, how did she get on this bill?
I have no idea. I don't work at the legislature.
Is there a rash of people getting pulled over, obviously intoxicated, who can't be prosecuted? Is there a rash of marijuana-related fatal accidents in New Jersey? Where's the problem that
I have
they're
no.
a solution to?
The problem is coming from Sam representatives still stirring it up with the
Yeah.
70% municipalities still playing games in the state of New Jersey to see how much they can gin up people looking for a license for a business for their family.
I mean, I could see if there was all of a sudden this rash of cannabis-induced crashes all over the state, but where are the numbers to say we
No,
have a solution to this problem?
No, like Mike said, they just want to win. They want
Yeah.
a win on their side. So that's a way of them winning, I guess.
I have a
Also, I'm not
question.
hearing anything about this. If it slips in nice and quiet.
Yes.
I got a question. How many nanograms of cannabis are in the average patient when they wake up in the morning before they medicate?
Doesn't matter.
That's a good question, though. It always matters, a good question. Doesn't matter if it's gonna get you anywhere. But, you know, we have all the right answers and we still can't find ears to hear them, so,
Right. Well,
you know, I'd like to hear what he, you know, I think it's a pertinent question. Because you could have a certain amount of nanograms not having used it for 24 hours, where with alcohol, you know, I mean, pilots are allowed to fly within 24 hours of,
Drinking.
you know, so, but
No,
it's
They're
just,
not, pilots aren't allowed to fly within 24 hours of drinking.
oh, they're not?
No,
no.
I mean, I can't speak to like hotel bars or whatnot, but legally the FAA won't allow them to to fly within 24 hours. And drug tests for pilots.
Do they
is,
have like, is
uh,
it 48 or 72,
Let's
or do
get
they
back
not?
on drug tests.
I mean, it'd
Um,
be good to know. I mean, I'd like to know the right answer, so I don't.
I
be
can
advocating.
let you know momentarily. My husband has a
Drinking,
I-
Yeah,
I-
yeah,
I can
yeah,
look
but
at
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
it
but
doesn't-
there,
it's that's also just like it's
Yeah.
the 24
But
hours. but,
that's really beside this point here anyway. though.
but
the
there you,
pilot's license also you can't test positive at all for cannabis.
Hmm.
I mean, it's a federal aviation license. So
Can we just,
Yeah. But
what
back to-
keeps happening right now is the crux of this whole effing problem is we keep conflating ETOH percentage nanograms,
Right.
blood levels, serum levels,
Right.
with
That's right.
THC serum levels. And
That's
there's the
right.
problem that it cannot be done. Back
That's
to
right.
the Daytona
And-
thing. It is in the
And
brain.
they,
But
and
the
there,
more we continue this conversation, comparing it with
Right.
alcohol,
That's
the more we're
right.
going down the rabbit hole in the
That's
wrong
right.
direction.
Mike is right. And with alcohol, you have,
If he's right, what are you saying this for?
well, he's
can I
right.
jump back in about cannabis and driving? There have been 2 studies that have come out recently that have looked at impairment under in simulating driving tests.
Yeah.
And it showed impairment beyond 1.5 hours after consuming at how people were allowed to consume as much as they wanted in a control setting, and it did show impairment after 1.5 hours, which was really surprising to me because people didn't report feeling high at 1.5 hours
It
post
was
the
a
march.
consumption method.
It was
That's the only way I went to details of that study.
I'll post the link to
Go
this
ahead.
study in the chat.
Yeah.
The consumption method was flour.
That was a good study. That was a study that Jahan was talking about too.
Yeah.
And their group.
And then there's another crappier study that came out where they were looking at driving amongst medical patients, and their conclusion was that if you're a medical patient and you already have a high level of THC in your blood system, consuming more doesn't affect your driving abilities. But they only looked at 2.5 hours after consumption, which is kind of a nonsensical time point to judge consumption methods if you're really looking at using these studies to support consumption lounges or supporting cannabis.
Right.
Yeah.
And Ken, where did Jahan fall? What side? Where did he fall? On what side?
Well, it was quite clear that as I mentioned earlier, that it was not a reliable indicator of impairment, either the blood
Right.
or the urine test.
Bodily
But Guy,
fluids were no indicator.
But Guy, if you did studies on this, if you've already
No.
looked into this,
No. What happened about 5 or 6 years ago? I was working with a neuroscientist. We designed a study. We got a bid from a CRO to conduct the study for 35 patients at JFK. She's a neurosurgeon there at JFK. They have a driving simulator, and I needed $250,000. I never raised the $250,000.
Oh,
So we
all
never-
right. I thought you had some testimony
No,
prepared
no,
already.
no, so we never conducted the study.
All right, so you don't have any testimony prepared that you could send to any of the senators or who might be involved in this bill or?
No, but I could make a statement or a couple of statements or that impairment, they're basically looking in the wrong place and for the wrong
Can-
tool. That's
can
it,
I-
end of story.
All right, with that story then, can we move on to some, what, does Senator Turner, what thing is she, who's the constituent here?
Where's
Who's
she
got
at?
personal stuff? Can we write her a letter to correct this situation with her?
Where is she at?
Um,
Where is she at?
That's
She's
what
in
I'm
my
at. That's like-
district. She's my senator.
Oh, all right.
In Mercer County. So I've had a good relationship with Senator Turner. She was very much opposed to legalization, and after many correspondences between the two of us, which I've posted on Facebook, she came around to be one of the stronger supporters of cannabis legalization in the New Jersey Senate. So I was
So
quite
she's
pleased to see
educated,
that.
she's educatable.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
that's
there
probably
you
where
go.
support got. Or
There you
she's
go.
available.
So.
So there you go. So let's educate her.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was looking to see if you had something prepared that you could send to her or other
No,
senators.
No, but I'd be more than happy to jump on a Zoom and or we could talk to her, or whatever. Yeah, Or you, me, Jahan, whatever.
The two studies we just talked about, the ones with Jahan, I couldn't get onto the meeting the other night about that.
Yeah.
I know I text back and forth to Jahan about it afterwards, but
Oh, he
yeah,
did say
that-
that they were going to be available on tape, but I went to look for them and I couldn't find them. It was a very good meeting. It was only about 40 minutes long, but it gave an awful lot of information too. So hopefully that there will be a tape of that meeting. I did attend the meeting, but I was one of the very few people who attended it. So
He said, I talked to Jahan last week and he has a blog post that he wrote about it. It's on a paywall right now. And he's trying to get that, that released. But also there might be, sorry, it's getting loud. Yeah, he's going to have a blog post about the highlights of that meeting, which might be of interest to people.
oh, good. He said he's going to have a blog post about it. He will.
Yeah,
be.
he's already written it. He just hasn't, he's waiting the access on a different site. But and I think he's away right now for the week, but I'll share it if he gets it to me before.
All right, great, Abby. Thank you.
great.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be good information and data to be able to share with these assembly people and senators.
Yeah.
Because we need to push this back and
From what I've read about the studies, it's going to show that there's still more impairment than people think that they have after
that
consuming
one,
cannabis.
yeah.
So if we don't want to,
the
we want to
awareness.
temper that, like not hide any data, but also temper it. I think more important is if we could find the morning levels of Delta-9 in people's bloodstreams. Because we know that lasts for days or weeks or months, depending on how frequently you smoke. But what the morning post 12-hour levels are would be more helpful.
I'm
For
pretty
this,
sure the
because I
other
think if we
side,
keep the argument really narrow into
Right.
this instead of talking about driving
Mhm.
under cannabis, because that's a problematic area to go
Yeah,
into.
the problem is the serum levels. That's what I'm saying, to keep the focus on the actual science, since there isn't any here.
Yeah, and then the other thing to keep it focused on is the finding cognitive or behavioral tasks that people can do, that police officers can do to show impairment, like the backwards ABCs or whatever they are still doing for
the
alcohol
DRE.
impairment
Right.
without a breathalyzer, because those still should show impairment and have been utilized for decades. I don't want to get into whether or not how good those metrics are, but if those are the previously used metrics, we don't need a new one for THC to show impairment.
Just participated in the class with Rowan. And one of the other interviewees was, I can't think of his name right now, Mike something, but he is a DRE trainer and has been a DRE in Jersey for several years. But yeah, it sounded like he might have, it just reminded me, he might have some good information for us to use as well.
And actually, I'm going to have Mike Hoffman on my panel at Rowan talking about impairment.
Oh, it was that class, his class that I'm talking about,
Whose class?
Mike Hoffman's class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's teaching class at Rowan. I-
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
Okay, anything more on that? I'm not aware of any studies of, morning studies of tests of medical marijuana patients that actually determine what their blood levels are, 24 hours or 12 hours after they smoke. I mean, I haven't seen any of those tests. There may be one, but I'm not aware of it.
Not every patient has not smoked for 12 hours when they get up in the morning. I sometimes wake up in the middle of the night in pain, and I will consume
Right.
in the night.
I get up at
And-
4:20 every day.
And then what's the
Sunlight or dark.
and then what's the baseline? If everyone's endocannabinoid system is a little different, your receptors are different. What's the baseline? So
That's
you
true.
got to be your own. You got to be your own baseline. So I don't know about this blood level stuff.
I'm gonna be
I'm
3 nanograms per milliliter, that's for damn sure.
not-
Doesn't make sense, but that doesn't mean they're not going to push it through, and we're going to have to worry about.
You're right.
removed.
You're right. That's
Yeah,
right.
oh,
You're
yeah,
right.
Pennsylvania's is 0.
Right.
Could be worse. You could, but they already have, now they're correcting it. Now they're trying to get co-sponsors for a new bill to fix that.
Right.
We can fix this, nip it in the bud. We don't have to go through all that. How
Yep.
many years down the road, like
Mhm.
trying to chase Schedule 3 for a deschedule another
Mhm.
50 years down the road.
Yeah.
All right, I'll shut up.
And no, you won't.
No,
No, he won't.
sorry.
But just to show how opponents of marijuana legalization never give up, there's a legal fight being waged by the anti-cannabis group in Highland Park right now. David Evans, the lawyer from
Oh my God.
Hunterdon County.
The lawyer from hell.
Yeah.
Well, he's very committed to it, and he's been involved in a number of court cases. Some of them have been successful throughout the country. And right now he's accusing local officials in Highland Park of marijuana trafficking in violation of federal statute.
Well, he's persistent in his lies.
Yeah.
I have quite a history with him.
Uh.
And I could get some video of him being thoroughly embarrassed on It's Your Call with Lynn Doyle. One time in particular, I really had some fun with him in the green room, and Terry Farley. And they were both like lost, and angry. And then I just sat back and, on the way out, even when I was David Evans had to said, I have to use the facility for a second. I'm like, yeah, I bet you do. I mean, that really bothered him, so anyway, yeah, his tactics are pretty well known. I thought he disappeared.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
I hadn't
No,
heard
not at all.
No, he's
hadn't
still
heard
there.
anything about
Under a
it.
rock.
Yeah.
That's all.
I know.
There's-
We testified on opposite ends of the spectrum in several legislative committee hearings.
Well, it won real quick just because it's kind of funny. After we had a successful vote, he was holding court outside with a reporter who had a laptop on a thing so he could use it and interview at the same time. And yeah, I went right over and was videotaping him while this was going on, and he got kind of nervous. And then he said something like I called him an asshole, but it was Kevin Long who called him an asshole. He just thought it was me for some reason. Somebody did on the way out. So anyway, when I went up originally and said, on the way out, offered to shake his hand and said, hey, in anything like this, there's a winner and a loser. You know, and he refused to shake my hand. So anyway, Terry Farley went walking by while we were doing this, and there was like two off-duty officers with David Evans. But when Terry Farley went walking by, you know, I'd said, listen, you know, even after a football game, the coaches, you always shake hands. It's what you do, even if you hate each other, you shake hands.
It's American.
Yeah, but Terry Farley was walking by then, and we all know him as, you know, the head of the narcotics strike force in Ocean County, and definitely put David Evans to shame years before that with the way he steamrolled everything. And I said, I had a history with him, and I said, hey, Terry, shake. And we shook hands. I said, see, you know, and I said, David wouldn't shake my hand. And David Evans said to Terry, yeah, he called me an asshole. And Terry, he's called me worse than that. And went walking away. It was like really funny that Terry Farley came to help me out, backhanding Dave Evans in the hallway. So anyway, I look forward to seeing him again then, probably.
Well, it's I believe it's in the appeals court right now, because it was dismissed on one level, and of course, the Attorney General in New Jersey is opposing that challenge to New Jersey's legalization. So anyway, we'll stay tuned and see how things develop with that. And of course, there was an article too about if New Jersey legalizes mushrooms, they believe the entire East Coast could follow. So there was some talk, some press about the Psilocybin Behavioral Health Access and Services Act.
Yeah.
And I know you're following that very closely, Guy. Any comments there?
No comments there. I'm in a group actually of a therapist, and they're very active with some of the legislators who've written the bill and so on. So we're waiting to get, you know, remember I said last year that I got a letter from one of the staffers, I can't remember even who, that said there's going to be a meeting. And that's when I was yelling up and down, oh, something will be done during the lame duck, because we were literally called in to, you know, weigh in on the bill. I said, this is great. And then they canceled the meeting. So who the hell knows what happened, but I'm part of that group. So hopefully we'll get called in, you know, and be able to weigh in on the bill, which will be good. And also too, I submitted expert testimony last July when they had the informational meeting in Trenton. So I'm on their radar. So if anything happens, hopefully I'll get called in and be able to weigh in on the bill.
All right, great.
Yeah, I'll let
So
you know.
that's the bill is in a committee right now, and it's just sitting there, I guess.
Yeah, S-2283.
You say, but it did have an informational hearing?
Yeah, they did. Last July in Trenton, they had Vitale was chair, Scatori was there. I spoke to both of them, and they had they had two positions, one from Dana-Farber, one from Hopkins, speaking, and then Joe McKay and a young man who was healed with cured from alcohol addiction at NYU Langone, and a nurse from Rutgers. So it was very powerful, and it was very powerful, a very positive meeting.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Glad to hear that. And there's not anything more with that. I noticed that Benebis Health is partnering with Leaf 411, and they're going to have a cannabis nurse hotline. So if you have a if you join Benebis Health, which gives you discounts for medical marijuana at some of the dispensaries in New Jersey, some of the medical ATCs,
right?
Not all of them, but some people may feel that you know, it's worthwhile to get involved with that. Anyway, so right now they also have a cannabis nurse hotline that you could call and
right.
if you're having any problems.
And look for that. That's going to be big, because I'm working with actually Nichelle on that. Because Nichelle is the insurance broker for Benebis Health, and I'm working with Nichelle, and we're looking to sign on employers who want to add that on as an employee benefit. So that's the future of medicine, as an employee benefit, and working towards that. So yeah, and not only that, also to add psychedelics on his employee benefit. Right now, ketamine is being used, and now MDMA will be approved, I think, in August for PTSD. So that's again to be added on as an employee benefit. So look for that in the future.
Mhm. And you say you're working with Michelle Santos with that?
Yeah. I'm on her advisory board, and we're working with bringing those we're working with Benefis to bring them employees. I'm sorry, employers that want that as a benefit. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
It's sort of a step towards insurance coverage, not quite as
Yeah.
good as full
No.
insurance coverage, but it
Except
certainly
No.
there's insurance sales anyway. Oh yeah, getting people signed up for Benefis is a good. I mean, it's what, $100 a year? That's a great.
It's like $98 a year, and then you get like 15 or 20% off of your medical cannabis when you go to the dispensaries that are in network. Think of a model like a gym. I don't want to say it like this, but think of it like a gym membership. Like your employer signs up with Bally's, and if you sign up with them, you get a 20% discount. Think of it that way. That's the best way I could simplify it.
Your Silver Sneakers program for the medical marijuana. Or your
Okay.
old clients.
Okay, I like my example better of a gym membership.
I like it too.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So upcoming events, we are in for Jersey Pride this year. Jersey Pride 2024 in Asbury Park it's going to be on June 2nd.
Yay.
And CMMNJ is going to have a table there. And it's always a very nice time. We've been there a number of times in the past, and we have we're going to have our tent and table and literature and merchandise and
rainbow scarves.
Yes.
Are you going to be?
And so we're going to look for some volunteers. It's going to be from 11 to 6 on June the 2nd. So mark your calendars.
I'll be there.
Good. Excellent.
Okay.
And what else is coming up? The CMMNJ Expungement Clinic is going to be at Raritan Valley Community College on June the 22nd from 12 to 4.
You skipped the big one, Ken.
Well, they're coming.
Yeah, Morristown Day.
No, you skipped another big one.
Did you sign up for Morristown Day, Mike?
I've signed up for the business luncheon, and as I spoke with you last week, just jumping in for the discussion tonight, whether it's something that we participate in again.
Well, I'll tell you.
If we have the volunteers to help us out, then we can do it.
I'll tell you what, it's Morristown Day is on June 1st, and I've already signed up for Jersey Pride on June the 2nd. So that's going to be a lot, to do to 2 major events in one weekend.
How much money did you make at Asbury Park?
More than we made at
We've always done
Morristown
good
Day.
at Morristown.
Huh?
We've always done good at Morristown.
Well, we've always done better at Asbury Park, I'll tell you that.
Okay.
So anyway,
we need more than one table set up, obviously. I'm good with that. I don't need a tablecloth.
I mean, if you want to go there and if you've got a table and you want to be in Morristown, I mean, you live right there. If we have enough volunteers to man the table, we could get the literature around, get people to sign up for our monthly meetings and whatnot. It's possible we can do both, but I'm not going to do both. It's a little bit too much for me as I approach my.
I'd love to go to Asbury Park too, Dave. The boardwalk would be beautiful.
All right.
I used to live in Asbury Park. Yeah.
There you go.
Guys conference, the Functional Fungi Educational Symposium at the Conservancy is going to be on March 30th. That's the last Saturday in March.
Very important day.
I'm sorry?
It's a very important day. I was born on that day.
Oh, there you go.
And it's also going to be online, so you don't actually have to go to Newark. They said I heard there was some kind of problem with the link to the Newark.
No,
Conservancy.
I checked it a couple times. It was working, Ken. So I don't know
Oh.
what that issue. Maybe it was that a one-off, but the link works. It's 100% free online or in person. So whatever. Yeah, please circulate the flyers.
Okay.
And we have an all-female panel of entrepreneurs, lawyers, and farmers, and people are going to talk about retail. I'm going to talk a little bit about research. So we're going to cover the gamut. It's going to be fun. It's going to be good. Very, very informational. We hope to build it, and then do another one, and then maybe next year or 2 years from now have a really, really huge one.
What time does it start again, guy?
I think 12:30.
I've got 12:30 to 4:30.
Something,
All
right?
right.
12:30
Say
to 4:30.
Someone asked a question. Did someone ask a question?
Scott, was that you?
No, I thought it said 12:30 to 4:20 was the time.
Yeah, 4:20. Yes, it is 4:20. It is 4:20.
So yes, I hope to attend that virtually. And the Happy Wellness Expo is going to be in Livingston, New Jersey on March 23rd. That's the Saturday before Guy's event. That's an in-person event as far as I know, where CMMNJ has been invited to have a table there because I'm going to give a talk on the elderly and medical marijuana at the program. So, and that's going to be in Livingston, New Jersey on the 23rd from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. I'm not sure what time actually I'm going to be talking at this point, but that's where I'm going to be then.
Whose event is that?
It's a Happy Wellness Expo.
Oh,
Happy Wellness Expo.
Yeah, there were a bunch of holistic healthcare practitioners from the Livingston area
ah,
that are
I
putting
got,
in.
yeah, we keep getting in, or I keep getting an invite for one of those in Mount Laurel every year, but they want like $400 to
Oh, wow.
get a table. I'm like, okay, what's your nonprofit price? I'll give you a $50 discount. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Wow.
I could hear Ed in my back of my head going, they should pay us.
I thought as advocates, most of the time we didn't pay for the table. Am I wrong in that?
We
Uh,
usually pay for a table, yes.
We
Like
usually
we're
have to pay?
paying, we have a great discount in Asbury Park. I think tables can go as high as $300, and we're paying $30 for a table.
Oh, that's
$30 for a table and a $50 deposit. That's what we put up to go to Asbury Park.
Yeah, that's a good discount.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah.
So
I didn't know. I thought that the advocates got in for free, maybe.
no, not usually. No, there's
Yeah.
usually some cost to it. Like Ewing, for example, on the Ewing Day, we have to put up $25, but then if we show up, we get the $25 back. So different communities have different standards for what they charge.
Ken, I have a question with that. Does the coalition have to carry some type of insurance to be there, or is it under the event insurance or no
Well,
insurance?
Different events have different requirements.
Right.
So some of them require us to have our own insurance, and some of
Right.
them were covered under the event insurance.
So what do we do? What's the coalition do for Asbury Park and other events?
Well, if we have to get insurance, we have to buy an insurance policy for that day.
So
We've done it in the past, so.
Okay, so what's the requirement for Asbury Park?
They have not told me that we need to get our own insurance policy.
Oh, okay. Well, just so you know, again, Nichelle and Jeff are insurance experts, so there you go. If we need insurance.
Okay, all right, great. Yes, I think we did look into them, but for one other event, but then we did go to the event. So anyway. And what else? Archer Health Fair is having their health fair. We've been to a couple of years in the past on May the 16th from 10 to 2. And I'll be giving another presentation on the elderly and medical marijuana at the Mercer County Library Lawrence Township branch, where we used to hold our meetings on April 11th from 2 to 3 p.m.
Is
this Thursday, actually.
Is that well attended?
I'm sorry, next month. 12 to 14 people come usually.
Okay.
So, it's a typical, it's remembering the 60s. So
Oh,
this
all right.
group, a group that meets there at the library. It's kind of an awkward time, 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but they get about as many people as we used to get for our coalition meetings there at the
Meeting.
library.
Oh, okay.
And,
You said that was April 11th?
yes, April 11th. Yeah, not March 11th. I'm sorry, April 11th. Well, there is going to be one on this Thursday, but it's the one about the what was it, in New York, the gay riot there, what was the name of that?
Stonewall? Stonewall?
Yeah, the Stonewall. Yeah,
No, well,
they're
that's,
giving somebody, a professor from Rider College is giving a talk on the Stonewall riots in this coming Thursday from 2 to 3. But anyway, that's not me, and it's not our issue. And Minorities for Medical Marijuana, I did provide a link to their upcoming events. They're all over the place. And any new information about our expungement clinic? Is everything set for that? I see we have our poster out for Raritan Valley Community College on June 22nd. Is there anybody have any information about that here?
No, Michelle's working on stuff. She's kind of leading that charge. So, and I'm
Mhm.
working with her to support her. But I have no further news. No.
We have lawyers signed up who are going to be doing it. I take it. I mean, we have that.
I suppose. Yeah, I'm sure we do.
Yeah, if we have the venue, expungement lawyers anyway.
She's trying to, I think, engage more the community and get some more things going there. So we're good. It'll be fine.
Okay. All right, great.
Expungement clinic without attorneys, though, it's not an expungement clinic.
Yeah.
Exactly. We have lawyers
Okay.
and expungement lawyers too,
Yeah, I was going to say Ed Hahnemann's
or
on
lawyers
our
that
board.
do lawyers
A
that
real
do.
estate attorney.
Ed Hahnemann's on our board, and he's a lawyer, but he's not an expungement lawyer. I don't think he's
Right.
ever done expungement. So
Right.
anyway,
The gentleman who worked with me, Hoffman was his last name, I believe.
Michael Hoffman. Yeah.
Michael Hoffman,
Yeah,
yes.
Michael.
That was the one who worked with me, yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't our own
Felicia.
Felicia?
Yeah, Felicia does them.
does it.
Michael
yes,
Hoffman does.
and believe
I
And
thought she was the one that's doing it. I assumed it was, but
well, there's a
Yes,
few. I think there's a few of them. Mike Felicia's one.
we got
Shirali, I thought was supposed to be another one.
Shirali. She's
And
been doing
Mike-
her own thing though. She hasn't been doing anything with us.
She was on. Wasn't she on the call? One of our calls though.
A call is not an expungement thing.
we haven't done any expungement clinics. This is
Yeah,
our first one.
that is our first thing.
This is the first one we're involved with.
No, I
Right.
know, but
Okay.
didn't we had 1 or 2 strategy calls, didn't we? Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we had strategy calls, but
Yeah.
Now, is this going to be free? Is this going to be covered by the social equity tax? Or are people going to have to pay the lawyers?
It's free.
It's
Yeah.
free, so it's covered
Yeah,
by
it's free.
social equity. All right,
Yeah. The lawyers are donating their time. Everyone's donating their time. Yeah. No, it's free.
okay. Good.
all right. Anything else? Federal drug policy reform. The new research from the Pew Research Center said most Americans now live in a legal marijuana state. 54% of Americans live in a state where recreational marijuana use is legal.
Most
No.
Americans have a dispensary in their own county. That was
Yes,
another article I came out.
15,000 cannabis dispensaries in the United States, and 79% of Americans live in a county with at least one cannabis dispensary. Almost 80% of Americans live in a county with a cannabis dispensary. And 74% of Americans live in a state where marijuana is legal either for recreational or medical use. So, we certainly have won the hearts and minds of the American public. What we haven't won is Washington
Yeah.
Congress
Yeah.
and the
they-
DEA.
that's
And the
in the bag.
DEA, the DEA still, I think that they're going to resist this rescheduling. requirement.
Really?
So far, the latest is that they refuse to respond to 12 senators on cannabis rescheduling. They miss a deadline.
Right.
So
He wrote a letter or something, yeah.
they, what's going on with you? And they say, we're not telling. You can't make us tell because we're the DEA.
Right. But we have our own little thing going on here, guys.
Well,
Ask to give us our retirement
Yeah.
account.
They make their own science. And anyway, it's a shame that we have federal police guarding and limiting our medical and scientific borders the way we have them. We really need to resolve as a nation to stop that from happening and never let it happen again. Worst thing you can do is block the path of inquiry, as far as I'm concerned. But the good news is Governor Shapiro is renewing a marijuana legalization push in Pennsylvania. So hopefully our neighbors to the west will will legalize marijuana soon. I was involved with the effort to get medical marijuana in Pennsylvania.
They're gonna need it because they're a swing state.
Because they're a what?
A
Swing
swing.
Oh, a
A
swing
swing-
state.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so
Mhm.
I testified in support of legalization of medical marijuana in Pennsylvania, in Scranton or whatever. Anyway, and New York State adults aged 21 and older will be allowed to grow up to 6 mature and 6 immature plants at their home after a 60-day public comment period. And regulators did not expect that home grow to have a major effect on the licensed retailers in New York State. So New York's going to get home grow, so that's
Mm.
good.
Doesn't that shoot a hole in the New Jersey Secretary's argument that he wants the legal market to get a foothold before he does
No,
the
mature.
mature, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's not going to have any effect. What does it matter?
No.
Well, he prefers to go to Colorado for information physically than to even have a Zoom meeting with our neighbors in New York. I mean, it would be kind of nice if they all got together, but don't hold your breath.
There is a growing industry support letter that has a number of different cannabis businesses, dispensaries, cultivators, manufacturers signing on to it, saying that we are fully in support of home grow and are fully in support of the bills that are proposing home grow right now. And so the argument that they're waiting for the market to mature, there are now a lot of people from the market that are saying that's not an excuse. So
Dispensers can sell seedlings,
I was using
Yeah.
that.
actually, so hopefully there's going to be some response and more people signing on to that as we continue to raise awareness around this.
Yeah, there was some effort to identify all of the supporters of home grow or of the dispensary operators in the state of New Jersey. I kind of dropped out of the some of the normal meetings on home grow. Anybody keeping up with that? Anybody have anything more to report about that? Is that the letter you're talking about, Jesse, the one that Normal started?
I'm talking about one that was organized by Kristen from Trichome Analytic.
Oh, Tricon, yes. Yeah. She was working on with the Normal group.
Okay, yep, that's the same letter then.
I will be attending their next conference call or Zoom meeting or whatever it is.
Oh, good.
I'm absolutely going to be getting in touch with them now.
Great.
Yeah, there's a call tomorrow at 5:30 and again on Friday at 3.
Tomorrow at 5:30.
That's the legislative committee call. So that's the committee that worked on the changes to the bill, and then the general meetings on Friday. And I think there's an outreach meeting also on like Tuesday nights every other week.
Okay.
If anybody's interested,
Nice to know you guys are organized.
yeah, it's a good group of
Sure.
people moving forward.
Mhm.
And it seems to have some momentum. It'd be great if anybody else wants to sign on to these calls. Drop your email in the chat, or I guess Ken and Jim also know about the calls.
Yeah, it just got to be too much for me. I couldn't keep up with it, with, my other involvements.
Well, I have more things coming together where it's gonna be very timely for me to be coalescing with New Jersey Normal about what we can do for home grow for patients. And so that'll be starting now. Before, it's I haven't been like real visible, but it doesn't mean I'm not doing things. And they're kind of coming together. So it's going to get pretty interesting this session, for sure. But more
Right.
on that later.
Okay, all right, great. Anything else on that? Alcohol-related deaths surged to nearly 500 a day, the CDC says. So seems to me it's all the more reason to use cannabis.
Beer sales have dropped off after legalization.
Yeah, yep. These are good things. And does marijuana cause psychosis? The answer is complicated, but there was very good review by some of the supporters of cannabis reform to talk about that. With the link in that on the agenda. The answer seems to be that it can what? Exacerbate a psychotic condition. It can, in someone who has a tendency towards psychosis, it can start a psychotic crisis.
I really doubt so much of the veracity of those. Where did that come from? Besides a direct link to Reefer Madness, the movie itself. I just don't see any. We got science back and forth on everything about looking at nanograms for DWIs. Here's something for psychosis, and it seems to be something more of, well, yeah, we can tweak that out, but it seems like every case that I've ever seen testimony on, it was the psychosis or whatever the condition was more the cause for the self-medication use of cannabis.
Well, there's that too. Yes,
Yeah.
certainly people who suffer from psychotic episodes tend to. I've worked in psychiatric hospitals for about 6 years, and a lot of people just smoke cigarettes. And somehow that seemed to calm them or help them in some way. And certainly, cannabis has been shown to reduce anxiety. It wouldn't cure mental illness, but it can make you less anxious about it, less panicky about it. And this study was done, Mike, by Dr. David Nathan and Dr. Peter Grinspan. So these are two guys who are on our side.
Yeah.
And, they talked about how it can precipitate a psychotic crisis. Well, can it do that? Well, yes. I mean, the way I look at it is there's an awful lot of things that can precipitate a psychotic crisis. Alcohol can do it. Breaking up with a significant other can do it. Any number of things can do it. Or it can have no,
thinking that goes back from earlier things that came up about 79% of Americans live in a county with a dispensary, and so many Americans live in where cannabis is here. Well, 100% of Americans have lived within a dispensary from the black market, from the legacy market now.
There you go.
And if it was such a causative effect on psychosis, there would be a whole lot more psychotic events happen all over the place.
No, you're not listening, Mike. The determining thing is if the person has a family history of psychosis or a predisposition to psychosis. So, not everybody has that. You're talking about that population, not the entire population of Americans who live near dispensaries. You're talking about a population who is prone to that type of disorder. It can precipitate that crisis in that person.
But that relationship is still statistical though, right?
But that's different than causing psychosis than, smoking a joint and suddenly going crazy. That doesn't happen. Unless you're the DEA and you define insanity as paranoia. Yes, there's paranoia that is associated with cannabis use, and many people experience that. Well, is paranoia psychosis? No. Is paranoia a symptom of psychosis? It can be. Yes, it can be. So, but just to explain, to me, paranoia is a self-protective mechanism. It says, there are dangers here. You better be careful, especially when smoking cannabis for, the 50 years or so that I smoked it before it became legal. There were a lot of dangers associated with cannabis. So anyway, to me, paranoia can be a self-protective mechanism as well as a symptom of psychosis.
And sometimes somebody really is watching you or following you.
That's right.
Paranoia is having all the facts.
Doesn't mean that we didn't do it.
Okay. Anything else on that? Germany made progress in legalizing cannabis. I don't think it was great law that they came up with, but they did mention that the object of legalization was to weaken the black market, reduce prohibition-related crime, and protect consumers from contaminated products, which I think to me is just
noble,
very sensible.
Yeah.
And exactly what we were doing. I mean, this is why, in addition to raising money for, raising money for the government, and creating a legal industry. So that's good. As we mentioned before, the Cannabis Regulatory Commission is meeting on Wednesday, March the 13th. You can watch it live on YouTube, though. You don't have to actually be there, right? I mean, they're still showing their
yes,
right.
What's
Yes.
the YouTube limit? Remember before you would get to a point where they hit their 100 people and can't watch anymore.
That was
On-
the limit. YouTube is unlimited.
right,
I
right.
just remember before. with
No, I
those
remember that from
videos.
2.5 years ago, when if you didn't sit there through the executive session, you weren't going to be watching it.
Bingo.
If you didn't sit through the executive session,
If you didn't log on during the executive session,
oh,
You weren't in the
Yeah,
hunt.
because that
couldn't get
ate
on.
up an hour or so.
I mean, it's not an active part of time, but it's still an annoying bit of time to have that.
If you wait and went back, you would get that message. Sorry, they've reached their limit.
Yeah.
You can't sign on to the meeting.
Yeah,
Oh.
but that's all over now.
oh, good. Okay. Yeah, the Trenton City Council's meetings are all on YouTube, and there are now recordings of them too, that if anybody's interested in Trenton City Council meetings, they're available for you. And we're doing a lot of work there at Trenton City Council. We've just reached our limit. Well, we have one more to go, one more for the City Council to approve, and we will have our limit of 10 dispensaries in the city of Trenton approved by the City Council. The Cannabis Advisory Committee is doing a lot of work there. We're still interviewing people and making our recommendations to City Council. And,
Congrats.
yeah, thanks. So,
And Ken, let me ask you, what's the if you were to name the top 3 things that you guys look for these businesses to succeed, what would they be in your opinion, I guess?
well, there's criteria that are
Yeah.
established in the ordinance. Trenton has
Right,
an
right,
ordinance, and there's about 10 different things that we look for basically in the ordinance. How are you going to improve the city? What's your business background? What you have to enter into a hosts agreement. We haven't actually finalized the terms of the host agreement, but they have to generally make some type of commitment to various nonprofit organizations in the city. They like to commit to hiring locally, bringing along minorities. We look to give special attention to social equity candidates and women and veterans and minority candidates. So these are some of the criteria that we use to make our judgments about. And of course, actually, they all have to have a conditional license from the CRC before they even
Right,
get the
right.
municipal license.
So is there a scoring checklist kind of a thing, or is just
It's not really a checklist. It's we interview them and we evaluate their application. We bring them in for an interview, and then we talk about their application and how thoroughly they have responded to I think it's 10 different criteria that are in the ordinance. And
Okay.
if they're weak in one or more areas, then we identify those areas that we find weaknesses in their application, and we ask them to go back and cure that application and come back
Right.
with a stronger application for us, so that we feel more confident in presenting
then-
it to city council.
And then is there a vote and there's
Yes, yeah, we vote. The Cannabis Advisory Committee votes. Right now, there's only 5 people on the Cannabis Advisory Committee, but we vote, and then the city council also votes. After the applicant gives the presentation to the Cannabis Advisory Committee and we approve that application, then they go ahead and they give another presentation to the city council, and then city council will consider that presentation and their application, and then they will vote on it in 2 weeks. And so far they haven't turned anybody down that we've approved, so that was encouraging. And we have in addition to the 10 dispensaries, we have, I believe it's 2 cultivation centers and 1 manufacturer that are working for licenses in the city of Trenton.
And is that a cap that Trenton has put on dispensaries, that 10 is going to be the limit?
Yes, for now. So in the ordinance, the city council decided that they only wanted 10 dispensaries. But the other parts of the industry, there is no limit. So you
Right.
can unlimited cultivation.
And how would that get increased in the future? Would that be the city council would have to do it, or?
Yeah, the city council would have to amend the ordinance if they, I'm sure they're not going to be in any hurry to do it.
Yeah.
I've been on I was part of the original advisory committee, and we've been going since November was a year. And what is this, March? About a year and a half almost already. And so far nobody's opened. So because after they get the conditional license and then the municipal approval, then they still have to build out their facility. They have to go back to the CRC for their annual license, and that shouldn't be a problem getting the annual license. But then they also have to meet all the zoning requirements that any business has to meet. They have to do all the things they said they were going to do. Meet all the security requirements. The security requirements are very, I don't know, excessive in my way of looking at it.
Ken, you said 10 dispensaries and everything else is unlimited. Doesn't that set those unlimiteds up for any failure? Shouldn't there be some type of balance ratio, or no? I don't know.
Well, they wouldn't be competing against one another necessarily like the dispensaries might be. I mean, if you have 5 dispensaries on the same block, that's I think that's more problematic for the individual dispensaries, that if you had 5 cultivation centers that could send their product anywhere.
Anywhere in the state, yeah.
Yeah, anywhere in the state.
Oh, okay.
So,
I see.
Yeah. What
So-
made you decide on 10? Was it based on the population or how
yeah,
did
I
you
wasn't
that?
privy to that decision. That happened just before I got on board, so I don't really know. And you know, at first I thought, well, they shouldn't, you know, it should be unlimited, you know, just let the market decide what's the right amount of people, what's the right amount of dispensaries for the area. But
But then you're setting people up for failure, though.
yeah, you are. Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, a number of businesses, I mean, what is it, like 20% of businesses fail in the first year anyway? You know, small
Yeah.
businesses. So, you know, it's tough being a business person in America, a small
Yeah,
business
yeah,
person.
yeah.
So, and there is a high failure rate. And, you know, we tried to adjust this with a couple of the people who didn't have any experience in business. You know, I said, you know, well, you know, we like your application, you know, you're a social equity person, and, you know, you got a lot of things going for you, but you don't have any business experience, you know, what can you do to correct this? And so some of them came back, and they, you know, they formed establishments, they formed relationships with you know, experienced business people. So
That's smart.
Yeah.
you know, they made some attempt to you know, address the concerns that we saw in the shortcomings of their application.
Yeah.
I know Ed Tobias was on here. I don't know if Ed's still here, but he was one of the lawyers for one of the applicants anyway. So, and you know, it was a challenging application. You know, I don't know, you know, it's hard to, you know, you can't tell the future, and you don't want to set somebody up for failure. But you know, on the other hand, if people are determined to get into this business, and they're going to say whatever they want to say, whatever needs to be said to get into the business, you know, then, you know, they're taking on that risk. Jesse? I don't know if you had your hand up, Jesse. You're mute.
That's just my joy.
Oh, you're smoking joint.
Sorry.
Well, you're a small business owner in Lambertville, and
Yeah, the local application process is a huge deciding factor. I'm like, and I've heard different things about the local application process in Trenton, and I really hope that it plays out in a fair and equitable way. And it's great to hear that you're a part of like how that's rolling out, Ken, because that gives me hope. But I know a lot of the applicants, and the fact that it's been delayed this long, honestly, has set Trenton in like not the best position when they're one of the impact zones that really should be benefiting the most from and having people open at the get-go. So I'm happy to hear that it's getting going. Like that's super exciting to hear. I'd love to see dispensaries starting to open in Trenton, but I really hope that it happens in a fair and equitable way. And fingers crossed on that, because the local municipal authority has so much power. In the licensing process, it's a little absurd. And I really hope that it plays out in a way that promotes locally owned small businesses, promotes legacy to legal businesses, and makes it accessible to those entrepreneurs. Because I know that a lot of municipalities have set up their ordinances in ways that are incredibly expensive local application processes. Like the Lambertville local application process was a $10,000 non-refundable, and they didn't have any lesser costs for social equity businesses or micro businesses. And that can be discriminatory.
oh yeah.
Like I haven't personally looked into the Trenton ordinance, just because I'm not going through that process. But I'm glad to hear that you're part of it. But yeah, I'm fingers crossed that it plays out well. And like I've got a lot of hope for the different dispensary owners and business owners that I know that are trying to open soon in Trenton, and cannot wait to see them open and go through and like celebrate their grand openings, because it's been too long.
We think one's going to open as soon as next month, possibly. Simply Pure. So
Yes, I was hoping it was gonna be Simply Pure. Okay, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So
close.
they look like they're about the furthest along. Something happened with WoFlow. I don't know exactly. We approved them even before that. They were the first one we approved, but
Yeah.
something happened with their internal organization, and that it's delayed the progress they were making, as far as I can tell.
Fingers crossed for them.
Yeah. So that's let's see what else. Well, the Cannabis Regulatory Commission, we know the next meeting's coming up, and they've switched over to digital medical marijuana cards. Haven't gotten one. I kind of like the hard card. Anyway, but they reduced registration and renewal fees. Anybody apply for the digital card? Anybody know?
Hard card costs you $10. I just had to reflip mine.
You can still get a hard card if you're willing to pay the money.
Yeah,
Pay $10.
cost you $10.
Yeah.
Digital ones are free
So why didn't you go for the free one?
because, like you said, I like the card.
Yeah, I like the card too.
I also feel like that's helpful to have in your wallet if you do get pulled over. So you're not
Right.
necessarily going to be, if you have, even if you're not intoxicated, if you have product in your car,
Yeah.
to be able to have that.
Officer, obviously, let me just, oh, my phone's dead. Damn it, it's right here
Yeah.
on my phone. I was,
Yeah.
And for $10, it's worth
Yeah.
having,
Yeah. That's a
or
good
like at
point, Abby.
TSA
Yeah.
or anything like that, or other states for reciprocity.
And you know, I like flashing it when people ask for identification too. I did that at the State House.
I know no matter
Ken's a
how
show,
high I've gotten,
Ken's a show off.
my phone has died more often than I've lost my wallet.
I agree with you there.
Oh, never mind.
So,
All right. We had,
well, that brings me to the end of my agenda items. Anybody else have anything else pressing on? the
Ken,
minds?
yeah, there's a, so I have, I'll have more details at the end of this week, but I have, in April, I think the 20th on Saturday, I'll be speaking at the National Cannabis Festival. I have, I'm on one panel for social equity with Nichelle, and then another panel I'm hosting for psychedelics. So that's April. When I have more details, I'll send them out to everybody. And then in May, I'm doing hosting a
Wait,
panel.
guy, go back to April. So is
Yeah.
this going to be in Washington, D.C.?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
which day are you going down for that?
I don't know yet, Mike, because they didn't give me the schedule. That's why I got to wait till the end of this week for all that.
Yeah, because depending on what activity you're involved with, it's over an entire week.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
got
know.
it.
Yeah.
the District of
You got the
Columbia
music
Unity Day is
festival.
it's actually on the 18th. That's the
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah. Well, I'm on two panels, so I asked them to please try and make it on the same day, so I don't have to be there extra days. To be honest.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I stay at a place called the High Road. Get it? HIGH.
oh,
Great
nice.
place to stay if you ever need a place to stay in Chocolate Town. Okay.
In DC itself, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a great little hostel. I stay there with Stella all the time.
Oh, it's a youth hostel. Hostel.
I
So-
mean, it's when I first went down there, it was like $35 a night.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Sure, it's not that now, but still, a private room back then was like $100.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't mind, sharing with a couple other bunk mates,
Yeah.
there's a hostel for you.
Thank you. No, my niece works in Washington, so I would stay with her. But I'm just trying to bang out these two panels on the same.
So Unity Day is on the 18th, and that goes on, and there's going to be other activities in DC on the 19th and 20th, I presume.
Right.
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 Yes.
Yes, that's right.
There's
right,
lobby day as well. I think
Right.
that's running on, I think that's the 18th, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't have the whole schedule in front of me.
Yeah, because
I
The
think
19th
my,
is when you should be talking, because that's bicycle day, guy.
The 19th.
well,
right?
I'm not, I'm waiting. I just, the project
Did-
manager, the project
I'm
manager
not,
just,
you totally missed my thing there, guys.
you know, I
thought
got
was
it.
only a holiday in
Let's
Switzerland.
go for the bicycle day, and you're down there talking on psychedelic.
No,
Gotcha.
I know, I got, no, I got, I got it. But like I said, she just got back to, her name is, she just got back to me today and she said she'll have all the information for me, hopefully by the end of this week. And then I'll do it like same thing I did with the mushroom flyers. I'll send them out to everybody. Everyone will know. So hopefully I'll have that at the end of this week and I'll share it. So that's in April. And then in May, I'm hosting a panel at Rowan for an industry night. That's where I'm gonna have Mike Hoffman on the panel and Nichelle and Wesley McWhite and a few other people. So that's that in May. And then in June,
Wait, in May, do you have a date for that?
May 1st. Yes, May 1st. But again, that's just to save the date. I don't have all the details because I'm still working with the Students for Sensible Drug Policy on that one. That's
Okay.
who's
Oh,
hosting
so
it.
it's May Day at Rowan?
May 1st.
Yeah, that's May Day.
Yes.
It's gonna be something at Rowan, you're saying?
Yeah, it's gonna be at Rowan. And I know that you keep asking about the business, but I don't know where. I don't know all those details. We haven't finalized them all yet. But when I get them, I'll share them with everybody. Right now, it's just save the date. That's it.
It's a psychedelic conference or?
No. That's an industry night. We're gonna be talking about cannabis. I'm gonna have Mike Hoffman on the panel talk about impairment. I'm gonna have Wesley McWhite there. I'm gonna have Nichelle. So that's cannabis.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's May. And then June, right, is the expungement clinic. And then I think they want me to speak at a psychedelic conference in North Florida, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go there. So I'm gonna submit a video talk about my survey that we did on psychedelics. So I'll let you know about that. And then I think in August, I'm gonna be out in Colorado, maybe, because Todd from Saks, they have me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Guy.
And again, we're working out the details with that. There's I think it's called AICP, which is all the accountants in the country go out for that, and I'm going to have a panel there on psychedelics. And then in October, I'm either going to be presenting at University of Pennsylvania or have a poster there on the results of my psychedelic survey on psychedelics. So stay tuned for all that stuff.
I don't have the exact date, guy, but July is usually when the Philadelic happens.
Yeah, no, right. But I'm on the board. I'm on the board, the advisory board. So I know it's in October. I just don't have the date yet. They changed it. They changed it.
I was just talking about back in July with Philadelic. You saying Philadelic is going to be in October?
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
You're right. You're right. It was in July, but now they're changing it.
Got it.
Yeah. I'll let you know when we have those details too.
So is anything locally happening on 420 here?
I have no idea.
We're hosting an event. My dispensary's hosting an event with a couple local cultivators that are new to market. We're gonna have Gold Hilt Labs, Green Joy, and a couple local cultivators. We're hosting it at a local farm. It's consumption friendly. Would love to get a table with you guys. That would be great. I can send you information. I'm sending out information on the tables this Thursday to people, and you were on my list of people to reach out to. We don't charge nonprofits, so you'd be
Oh, great, Jesse. Thank you.
yeah.
It's a farm close by in Lambertville?
Yeah, it's at Gaia's Way Farm. It's a historic farm in town. Technically, it's a Lambertville address, but it's under the municipality of Delaware Township.
Mhm.
We're gonna have a shuttle from our dispensary. It's also Shad Fest in Lambertville. It's like,
Oh, the Shad Fest, huh?
yeah. So 420 is Shad Fest.
So good luck finding a parking space.
So Gaia's Way Farm has a ton of parking, and we're gonna have
As soon as I heard you say
from-
shuttle. I'm
Yeah,
going,
exactly.
Shuttle? Why would you need a shuttle?
because Shad Fest.
That fest.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a shuttle from Shadfest to Guy's Way Farm, back and forth. It's an electric shuttle. We're actually have been doing a lot of work with Go Trenton and the Isles program there. And so that's gonna be something set up for the day. Would love to work with you guys, and we'll send you an email with more information on that. if you're available.
Oh,
I know
good.
there's a lot
Yeah.
going on.
We'll look forward to it, Jesse. What's the name of the farm again?
Gaia's Way Farm, Gaia, Gaia's Way.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gaia Way. Oh, okay, Gaia Farm. Gaia Way.
And Ken, I also forgot too, I just remembered it. When we had the final agenda, the MCBA, Mike Lamoto's group will be coming to East Coast, hitting Trenton, Jersey City, I think Brooklyn, I forgot where else, but I'll share that information too when we dial it all in.
Oh, they're coming back to Trenton this year?
Yeah. I think they're gonna have it again at Hub 13. Remember last year?
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. So when I get that information, I'll share with everybody as
All right, so
well.
we don't have a date yet for that.
The dates they're not finalized yet because we just
Okay.
had a meeting last week and the dates aren't finalized yet.
Okay.
Ken, on March 28th, a hot box for home grow at the State House. And also April 18th, Thursday, April 18th, right before 420.
So, all right, hold on. On the 28th of March, state, yeah, I'm gonna be out of town that day, so I
That's
can't
the
make
hot
that.
box
but
for home grow is the 28th.
State House.
Yes,
Well, what time is that?
28th.
11 o'clock in the morning?
11/11, and then the April 18th at 11/11.
And April 18th at, all right, well, that looks like something I can do. I'm not gonna go to DC, so.
We're gonna try to call DC and get them into our podcast somehow. I want to definitely integrate that.
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
great.
For people that can't attend in Washington, they can go to Trenton.
Right. And then they'll be available for Jesse's thing in Lambertville on the 20th.
Yeah, warm up for Jesse's party.
Looking
Great.
forward to it.
Okay. Thank you, Lefty. Anything else? I'm done.
Rudy's trying to hog the camera here.
All right.
Oh,
No, unless there's help
No.
for Morristown Day, I can't do it by myself. So
Yeah, I can probably help. I'll need a day to make sure I enjoy Morristown Day. I like going, tabling there.
Where's where
Would it be our usual spot?
we haven't done it for a few years,
Yeah, so maybe not.
but they were giving us the same spot right in front of the Rite Aid,
Yeah.
which I'd rather be closer down to my apartment down at the other end of town. Further
Yeah.
east.
Well, it's potluck, right? Maybe we'll get lucky.
Yeah.
What are the times, Michael?
It's boom. The time it opens from 9 to 3. However, vendors need to be set up by 8
Mhm.
and
8:30, I thought it said. Maybe
yeah,
8.
yeah, 8:30, something like that. And
Yeah.
then they give us until 4:30 to get out of there. We got like an hour to get out. Now I don't have any tables here either, though.
I have a table I can bring.
Oh, all right,
So
great.
I double sided.
All I would need is supply T-shirts to sell because my whole thing is to
Well, Ken, is this a
be a
day? is this
fundraiser while
bef-
we're there. Huh?
If this was before or after, Ken, you're gonna be somewhere on.
Oh,
the day-
yeah.
Yeah, before or after that.
But
which
the very
it's
next
gonna be a
day, yeah,
day
the very
after,
next day is
yeah.
Asbury Park, Jim.
Yeah, so we have to bring anything you need just straight back from there. I can take a run by your house with whatever you.
Oh, all right, good. Okay,
I'll be able to deliver that to you.
okay, all right. Then
I think it's kind of important. The reason why I like it is this is Senator Singleton's district, and And he's the one that has the bill out that although it hasn't been allowed to be heard in a committee hearing, he keeps putting it up. And I think a big thank you to him for that specific bill is in
He
order.
has a booth, him and Conway have a.
I know, I'm just saying that to have a big thank you to him at that, while he's got a booth there, people know that he's not just on board, it's him. We're on board with him, not the other way around. And I find that a special opportunity, and it takes something special to get me out to do tabling.
So, can either Ken or Mike send me those details? Because Morristown's not too far from me.
Yeah, me either.
It's a great event. If it gets good
Not-
weather. If it gets good
Guy,
weather.
it's Morristown Day, not Morristown Day.
Oh,
Morristown's further
Yeah.
north.
It's my
geez.
town. Yeah, where I live in Burlington.
Or-
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, send it to me anyway.
Anyway,
Yeah, no,
it's really nice. It's a nice venue. It's always I've always enjoyed it there. A lot else going on.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's a nice. nice day.
Live music. The
All right. I just have no idea.
there's
I
the representatives are there. I mean Herb
Okay.
Conway and
Okay.
Singleton are well represented.
I thought it was Morristown, but I don't know where. I don't know how far Morristown is from me.
Yeah.
Hey, here, it's exit 4 on the turnpike. How's
There you
that?
go.
Holy shit! That's 2 hours.
Mm.
Jesus Christ! All right.
Just to give you a heads up
A little
there.
further
Yeah.
south than Morristown.
We appreciate the thought though.
Well, because if it was Morristown, yeah, I could have done it.
Now
Because
you
I
know
wanted
it's like to have all these events up in Newark and Carteret. and
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. Well, like I got the same situation with Kent because I want to do the Asbury Park one. So now I got to make a choice because I don't want to drive 200 miles for one day
Yeah.
and back 400 and then 800 miles in 2 days. It's a bit much. I'm in my 60s now.
That Asbury Park sounds fun.
Yeah, I'll do Asbury Park. Yeah.
If I could physically do both, I would. Ah,
Well, we've never had trouble with just the two of us being there early, not to mention on time, and had a pretty good day. Not too painful.
yeah, I'm just not able to do a
Yeah.
8-hour
course-
session or 6-hour session there at the table.
Of
need-
course,
Yeah.
yeah, some of these though were like, where I could go back to the car to medicate. And being a patient, I'm allowed to do that, but being an adult, anybody's allowed to do that now. I just want to also, it's gonna be nice to feel the mood of that, because we've been there. I don't forget, it was the first time, it was a while back, what about 7 years ago or something, the first
Yeah,
time?
no, it's the pandemic. Before that, we did it for 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll have a good time again.
Okay. Okay,
I know I will.
And everyone who still can walk can go to Asbury Park the next day.
Yeah. Oh, and this is the first
Oh,
time
God, you're
where,
not doing Asbury Park. I
this-
need to
think
do
about
back
it.
me up here.
Michael, this is the first time that Herb Conway has been irrelevant. Bill's not in his committee. It's in a different committee. He is irrelevant. He's dismissed. Trot on, Herb. Senator Singleton's the man.
Conway's running for Congress too.
Yeah, that's gonna be kind of fun too. I'm just saying, it's a round world, Herb.
Troy's office is right around the corner
Yeah,
at 3rd and Church, whereas
well,
Herb's office is way
Hmm.
out in Delran.
well, besides all that, it is just always like a good time. There's, I gotta actually remember to bring, I don't travel with money almost ever. I gotta have something, there's stuff to eat there that like really smells and looks good. And they also have good live music there.
Yeah,
I mean, stuff I like anyway. Old time stuff.
yeah, it's a good time. And again, I try to see if we can get I wanted to bring this up before, thinking about adding things.
Well,
Just developing a list and maintaining a list of volunteers that can fill in for us, because there's been a lot of these events that you know, I've been there to help out Ken, ends up just being me and him. Which I don't mind doing that, but it's this, you know, 7 weeks of radiation took a lot
Well,
out of me
yeah.
right now. I'm not gonna be able to do that.
Yeah,
Not sustainable for years to come.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so we
it'd be
need
nice
to get
if-
some new people
yeah.
to step up.
Well, also just, stop on by, if I'm healthy, we can get it all set up. You can't tell how you're gonna feel on any given day that far down the road. So it would be nice to have a couple other people understand that and say, hey, if Mike can't make it, and I've seen you in pain and it's not pretty. It would be nice if there was just somebody else there, but other than that, it'll get done. We'll make it work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm not pretty when I'm not in pain.
Yeah, I know, I don't wanna say though.
I have so at my dispensary, we partnered with like a local place. I've got like a thing that I'm doing with my employees where I try and get them each to volunteer like a few hours each month that we'd end up paying for. Just kind of like get them involved with the different nonprofits that we really like and support and want to be involved with. They're working with Freebridge Mutual Aid this month. But like that's going to be our March project is Freebridge Mutual Aid. I feel like April is a great cannabis month. Maybe we could commit like a few hours if you guys are doing things in April, or if it's more important to get people out for the Pride months. That could be a way that like our dispensary could get involved, and then maybe in the future other dispensaries could commit to having their bud tenders. Because honestly, it's a great educational event
Yeah.
for the bud tender. It's an industry type, a way to get involved in the industry in a different way.
Well, yeah, for people to get involved, a good example such as you offer, being, doing that and say, hey, look how good it was. Yeah, that's what gets things going. So yeah, thanks if you can get anything going like that.
You're
you
right,
know.
though. It's great to have the passion in your bud tenders to also be able to, contribute to the community.
Yeah.
And the other nonprofits that are here besides, us and Sativa Cross is, but this is something where, yeah, having, I guess the next thing is, I bring it up, so I inadvertently got volunteered, but to coordinate volunteers so that for these events coming up, we can have a list of people so you can just make a phone call and we know we got people to fill in. Scott's helped me out a lot. I mean, the last couple of events, I wouldn't have been able to attend at all if he didn't pour me in his car and drive me.
Wasn't quite like that. You
What'd you
made
say, Scott?
made it Trenton on your own.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll plan to come to next month's Coalition for Medical Marijuana meeting and like have a plan set up with my bud tenders moving forward, and then maybe we can coordinate the upcoming events if that sounds good.
Oh, great. Sounds great, Jesse. Thank you so much.
Oh, awesome.
Jesse just reminded me of something else. Over the past few years, actually, we've been doing something in March. Sort of as a fundraiser with one of the dispensaries in the area. And we had, I left our last rack with Ken. That was a display rack for the lanyards for the hemp wristbands. And the idea behind those was to have a display so that a place like yours could have a little small segment of your countertop that could generate something for the organization as well. And it's worked out fairly well in the past and doesn't take up much room. And I know you and I have talked about this more than once, Jesse. I just need to go out and buy more of those stands and then have a party and cook them up again.
I'm definitely down as soon as you've got the stand. I feel like one of these times I'm going to see you at one of these events and you're just going to have it in the back of your car ready to go. And I'm ready. I'm ready for that.
All right, great. All right. Thanks so much, everyone, for for coming and for doing what you're doing, for volunteering and all the work you're doing for cannabis reform and availability here in New Jersey. And we'll see you next month.
Have a good one, folks.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Can't move here.